Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Sam from the Soul of Stella with another pick a card here for you today. This one is hugely powerful to the point where I've re-recorded this intro because I'm not gonna lie, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. And I hope that there is so much value in these readings for you. And I know it's so easy to just, it's too confronting sometimes to watch the readings that are really asking us to like face our patterns and our beliefs that we need to release. And that's the topic. What are our patterns and beliefs that we need to release so we can have more abundance in love, career, life in general, okay? How we can bring more enjoyment into life. Sometimes it's hard to watch those and it's easy to watch the shorter, fluffier readings, which I do love doing. But this one, I really feel like it deserved this intro where I'm saying, get your pen and paper, 100% get pen and paper, get the notes open on your phone if you're watching it on a PC or TV. Like, you're going to want to take notes from this, and not just on the things that I say or that spirit is really saying to you through me, of course, or your higher self really showing up in a lot of these piles as well, but the things that triggers. So write down, okay, addressing this, or that makes me think of this, and you're going to get a list of ideas. You're going to get a list of action points from this, like from listening and actively listening. And by that, I mean like taking notes about the things that come up. You'll be able to use this. And it's like, it feels meaty, my first intro to this was like, it's going to be short and sweet. Oh, famous last words, like buckle up, get a drink, get ready. So in saying all of that, this is a lot. And it comes with a little bit of a warning to don't shoot the messenger. I'm saying all of this with so much love, so much affection, and for you. Like, I want you to have the best life possible, the brightest love possible, to love yourself truly, to be able to follow your dreams and goals and actually see them through to completion. I want you to be rewarded for your success, and I want you to inspire the way that some of you really want to, okay? I want all these things for you. And I could relate to different things in different piles, so no one is perfect here. I really just want to stress that to you. But I do hope that you get so much value out of this, so please do let me know how it resonates, because it's juicy. It's juicy. All right, ground yourself, take a deep breath. Tune into the energy of, I'm open, I'm ready to hear messages for my best and highest good. Of course, remembering that this still is a collective reading. Not everything's going to resonate for everyone. Do not take anything that's going to take from you. Just take what resonates and be willing and open to learning and growing through this process, okay? So in saying all that, when you're able to pick a pile, this is pile number 1 with the Modern Witch Tarot deck. This is pile number 2 with the Lucid Dreams from Saint Soleil tarot deck. And this is the Wandering Star tarot deck. So pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. When you feel your intuition speaking to you and you've chosen a pile, timestamps are in the description box below. And I will see you in your reading. Good luck. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. This is, which patterns or beliefs do I need to release right now? And you chose the Modern Witch Tarot. And I've already got some cards pulled, so we're going to jump straight into it. Of course, only take what resonates. This is going to be a little bit self-development, personal development, growth-inspired. Short and sweet, but hopefully very, very useful around love, career, money, any facet of life that comes through. All right, so our 2 themes here for you, pile number 1, around beliefs and patterns that you need to release. We've got Aries, the radical, and Pisces, the mystic, okay? So I'm feeling like it could be things like, it's like one extreme to another. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I just heard the word hypochondriac. I'm not trying to call you out, but it could be like that. It could be very like high highs and low lows. So Aries is giving me the image, or yeah, I'm really like just seeing someone very proud and someone very kind of boastful, a little bit selfish, a little bit impulsive with this radical energy. I'm drawn especially to like the sports car in the image here. So the need for speed is kind of coming up here. And also the fact that you're wearing your heart very vulnerably at the moment. So it could have to do with matters of the heart. And especially with Pisces, the mystic being here, I feel like you may try and escape life, or you escape your problems through almost like dangerous pursuits. I don't want to get too far down that track just yet, because I do have tarot to pull on this. But in their best possible light, like the Aries card is someone who is courageous in a good way, and who's radical in a good way, and who is decisive and bold and expressive, very fierce, like stands their ground, assertive when they need to be, self-starting as well, you know, someone who like is naturally aspirated and will empower themselves to see something through to completion. Okay, so if you can step more into that energy, I feel like you can use the radical to be more on a mission rather than on like I just heard like the road to hell. Like you kind of like pave a path for yourself here is what I'm feeling, where instead of taking like the peaceful tourist drive, you're taking like the racetrack. And look, like I said, I'm not trying to call you out, but if we're trying to learn from something here, that could benefit you in some situations. And it's like Ronda Rousey, we don't want to take away her fight. We don't want to take away the thing that actually makes her good at what she does. So I want to investigate this a bit more. But especially on that love kind of dangerous pursuits and this kind of like escapism that I was picking up on, especially with the Pisces, where it could be like, I pity myself so much sometimes that it's like I get to this point where I feel so low that the only way to cheer myself up is to go and almost like expose myself. With this Pisces card, it's a very sensitive energy, and I think you may be a highly sensitive person who is almost like running on adrenaline, and it seems quite unhealthy for you at the moment. You just end up doing the impractical thing rather than the practical thing. Very self-sabotaging, but it very much feels about like unable or unwilling to sit with your deep, deep emotions, okay? Because when we're talking about the mystic, we're talking about a healing energy, okay? Because I feel like there is some kind of pain here that you are trying to like activate away from. But here you're activating, instead of sitting with it in the quiet and letting the emotions come out, I really feel tears and like water and going with the flow and, allowing things to heal even naturally, to allow yourself to even dream to some degree. It's like you're afraid of the feels, okay? So let's get some tarot in this to investigate a little further. We've got the World card, okay? Oh, no, we don't. I wasn't even looking at that properly. We've got the World card. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I feel like you have been able to get away with this kind of pattern of behavior for a very long time. And it's only now that maybe you're maturing, and you possibly have burnt a couple of bridges here, where I feel like you're like, oh, I think it's about time that I start like counting my lucky stars. Something again to do with like that need for speed. It's like, oh, I'm not actually as invincible as I thought I was, and what I need to do is ground myself and push this wheel towards things that I realize I'm a lucky person, right? And very fiery energy. I'm also picking up Leo energy. Someone who is a lucky person is how I am viewing you, and you've narrowly escaped like maybe even incarceration for some of you. you've narrowly escaped the law, and it could be like judgment from authority figures, teachers, parents, bosses. You've just like slid through life is kind of what I'm feeling. But you're hiding, you're kind of like doing this daredevil stunt to hide these emotions. And I think you realize, if I want to get more out of life and if I want to turn my luck around, and instead of having this Murphy's Law kind of outlook on life, what I need to do is actually use my natural born charisma to my benefit here. Okay, everything is fine. Yeah, complete denial. You have all these emotional and mental swords in your back, potentially from these narrow escapes that you have made, and you're up late at night scrolling in order to avoid. So again, it feels like another pattern where you're taking some things for granted and you're in denial about emotions. And we need to put a stop to this because, like I said, the light attributes of these signs and these cards is really about addressing what you need to address in a emotive way so that it powers you forward in the right direction. We also have the Hermit here. Look, you may be very closed off when it comes to emotions. Like I said, very denial energy with this Hermit. Again, with the social media, she's closing that laptop in the dark of the night. You could throw yourself into work, and that's probably why you feel like you need to let off steam, because you're not finding healthier outlets to process even like little things that like build up and build up and build up. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. So even little things that people say to you at work could really be grinding your gears, and yet you're not addressing it. You're really sweeping so much under the rug here. Here we've got Aries energy again with the Emperor. Like I said, you're someone who feels like you've got this lucky streak, and you've got natural leadership skills and natural charisma, and people kind of want to follow you. Okay, you have the potential to be very well off, very well organized, sitting pretty in terms of like commanding attention, being powerful, and feeling like you're feeling in control of your life in personal power. So you feel disciplined, and you feel you're feeling really proud of yourself in the best possible way. Okay, that's what I feel about this kind of entrepreneurial energy here. But you're definitely in the shadow aspects of this. Pig-headed, stubborn, even like doing that dangerous stuff, because again with the Aries, it's too in your ego. It's too in your ego when you wallow in the negative aspects of this, when the negative qualities of this. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, you need to bring some balance into this situation. It's like you're hopping on one foot just waiting for the next like penny to drop. You know that saying where you're just like, it's literally Murphy's Law. Like you're literally waiting for, oh, everything goes wrong in my life, so like, you know, something's bound to happen. And you say it with a laugh and a smirk and a giggle, because you're kind of like, well, nothing can beat me. But you are starting to realize that like this gig is getting a bit old. You know, that's the feeling that I'm getting. And I feel like you may be frustrating a lot of people around you. And that's actually leaving you in more of an emotionally distressed state, because you know that you're more powerful than that. You know that you have more to give than that. You know that you can be balanced, and maybe you have been in the past, but there's a sense of playing victim to the chaos and just kind of loving the chaos instead of actually addressing the deep emotions that need to be addressed here. Okay, so that's a lot. Actually, there's one more card. Oh gosh, pile number 1. I'm so sorry. Like I actually see this quite a lot, so don't feel too bad about this, but I know that this is here. I have a feeling that you know that something needs to change in this situation. I mean, and that's why you're watching this video. But with the Devil energy here, it feels like addictions, obsessions, unhealthy attachments. Again, I feel like you've been hurt in love. You've been hurt in love. You've been hurt by people's snide remarks. You could even have been bullied when you were younger, and just these things that people have said to you over time, like especially if you've allowed your dangerous behavior to like let people down, to even hurt others in a way that you never thought that you would, but it did, and then you've repeated that pattern. There's a sense of like repeating patterns and staying stuck in a loop and staying in a low vibrational energy, and it's eating you up because you know that you are better than that, you deserve better than that, the people you're interacting with deserve better than that, but there's deep like soul stuff. And of course with this Pisces and mystic energy, it's very much the opposite, right, of the devil energy. This is someone who's connected to spirit. This is someone who's connected to higher learning and their ancestors and their inner guides as well. You know, their third eye is completely open, whereas here you're just blocking the blessings from coming in. So someone that understands but is afraid of their own like spiritual power, their own healing power. And it feels a little bit like you're gaslighting yourself here. You really think this is your lot in life, and because this is how you've been playing the game, I just heard, for so long, you do wonder how you're going to be able to break the ties that bind here, how you will be able to release this situation. Let's have a look at the next card. These are some art cards that I actually haven't used in a like recorded reading before. I hope I can say this name properly. Marina Abramovic. Okay. Skeptic, heal thyself. Huh. Right? What's the opposite of the mystic? It's a skeptic. Right? Heal thyself. Very scorpionic energy too, okay? You're letting that stinger come around and sting yourself, okay? You think you're the tough guy. I'm so sorry. You think you're the tough guy, but you're actually stinging yourself. The only one, like, you know, it's when you're pointing the finger at someone else and you've got 3 fingers pointing back at you. It's that kind of situation. Discipline is both a noun and a verb. Yeah, it's a doing word. And this is where we realize, like, if you were to push the wheel of fortune in the right direction, if you were able to sit with your own inner thoughts and your inner sovereignty and really understand yourself, you will be able to see how powerful you are and that you can bring things into balance and detach from anything that is holding you back here, okay? But discipline requires you to put down the drink, or, you know, put down the phone, put down the work even, and find some balance. When a stranger stares into your soul, do not press charges, stare back. Yeah, like you're afraid of depth of feeling, for sure. You may have even met someone recently, I feel someone who's quite mystic, who has stirred within you. And by recently, I mean the last 12 months, 2 years kind of time. And who may have stared directly into your soul and really freaked you out, okay? Because it's like this person understood you at a cellular level. This person may have also experienced something like this in their own life before and had a spiritual awakening because of their own healing with this situation and realizing that they do have what it takes to actually transform their life. So this is requiring you, I believe, to stare in the mirror and have a good look at your own soul. You need some quiet time here. And I know it's as unfun as that sounds, I think you have a lot of power to create something beautiful here. Look at the arrow actually firing back at yourself, okay? This is self-loathing. You can't stay in this energy for too much longer, pile 1, because it feels very toxic to self. And I feel like you're not going to be able to make it where you want to go with that determination. It's almost like you're going to be always left unsatisfied in some way, shape or form, disappointed in yourself, and you don't want that. What you want is to step into that bold, beautiful place where you feel absolutely worthy of all the blessings that will come your way. I'm actually not gonna, I've stuck a sticker over it, but I'm actually just gonna hold it like that. This is the other card. It's very, I'm gonna say vulgar. Okay, this is Gustave Courbet, or Courbet. Fight the power, paint the powerless. Ooh, okay. There's a sense of anarchy to this, okay? And that's where it's like, I'm running from authority. But I think you need to realize that you are the authority over you, and you actually could be someone who develops into a position of power and authority. So if you've ever wanted to be the teacher, the service provider in terms of like a policeman, or it's like captain of the ship kind of energy, so someone who takes charge. Or I'm also hearing pilot, someone that gets to pilot their own plane and can fly people wherever they need to go. And I'm speaking metaphorically, but also like that could be very literal for you. Show what you see, not what you saw. Okay, so it's talking about addressing, and I'm just going to pop that card down so we don't have to look at it too much, and you don't think I'm hiding anything from you. I'll just pop it there. Show what you see, not what you saw. It's like what I see is way more in depth than what I'm actually allowing myself to express. It's a tough machoism, okay? It's like a tough outer shell that is argumentative at times and so closed off from self that you don't allow anyone else in, okay? And I know I'm talking a lot about the actual issue here, the actual patterns and beliefs, but really we're weaving in how beneficial it will be, how like the release that I feel you will get from releasing these emotions that need to come up, that are triggering your behaviors. I think you will realize not just how healing and empathetic you actually are, but also I think your ideas will start flowing. If you're trying to create and make creative ideas and creative progress in your life, if you're trying to tap into spirit, these are the things that I think will really start to show up. You'll begin to find a lot of clarity and self-trust from your own intuition. There's a sense of magic that will come. I think you're so powerful, and combine that brute force of power with a sense of compassion for others, a allowing kind of energy, okay, openness. I really believe that's the perfect mix for you to be someone who garners attention for all the right reasons and is a powerful leader. Okay, may your art help finance your legal fees. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just going to leave that at that. Like, that's a lot. Are you trying to be like, it's like you're living out an idol, or maybe a parental figure, someone you modeled yourself on, even a friend that you thought was cool, or maybe you're trying to model yourself on the bullies, and you're trying to live to their life instead of the beautiful soft soul that you actually were when you were born. And I think that you might be trying to live out something that is it's run its course now. That existence has run its course, and now it's time for you to rebuild these bridges and find creative solutions to the problems here. Okay, these cards are stunning. These are heal yourself cards. Take off your mask. Again, with the creative energy, I'm sensing like dance, drama, acting. If you wanted to be an actor in some way, shape, or form, or if people have said to you, oh my gosh, you're such a good liar, you could be an actor, and you're like, well, deep down I actually want to be, but that comment is eating away at you because you're like, damn, I really messed that up, and you'll never admit to anyone out loud. But I think when you take off your mask, you'll be surprised how many people really appreciate your honesty, your truth, your vulnerability. Look how vulnerable this girl looks, right? But also your beauty. It's there's a sense of innocence returning. And that's what comes. I was picking up an innocence with the radical, it's like something is so exhilarating that it feels brand new all the time. You're really getting charged up from this danger, but at the end of the day, it depletes you. So can you find healthier outlets, okay? Creative outlets for expressing yourself, okay? If you're so afraid to be alone with your emotions, then be public with them and express them through writing, poetry, singing, even through just singing in the shower to your favorite songs. It doesn't need to be that you're the creator of the music, but there's something very when you expose yourself in a vulnerable way, I think that you will be surprised at the amount of people who will actually be in support of this, because they've been rooting for you this whole time. You know, they've seen your sparkiness, and you might have even had people say to you, if only you could separate yourself from that habit that's really destroying you, my God, you'd be amazing. Wow, wouldn't you shine? And I really think people are rooting for you to do that. And it's, if you're thinking it's too little too late, it's never too late to change. Honestly, it's never too late to make amends as well. And it's okay. I feel like there's a sense of you don't have to do this alone either. When you take your mask off, you allow other people to take their mask off, and you'll realize a lot of people will come to you, I feel, and actually start explaining, well, I went through something similar and this is how I evolved from it. You might even want to be part of like a support group, a sport group, a friend group, like a self-seen kind of group where you can openly discuss with people with similar situations, okay? Pay attention to signs, okay? Interesting. I'm drawn to that this is not card number 10 and this is card number 11, okay? So pay attention to the signs where you may be given opportunities, and because you're so used to, and I just saw 2222 on the screen there, this very much feels like an opening of love, that you may get another shot at love. Of course, you're going to get another shot at love. But now you're like, okay, I'm paying attention to the signs of my behavior that almost make this person, if you look at this person as someone that you love, then they're going to put on a mask to protect themselves from the mask that you are going about your life wearing. And that they're like, I don't want the mask version of you, pile number one. I want the real the real, raw, true version of you, the vulnerable version of you. So look for the signs where there's opportunity to do this. And it's interesting that I saw this as the World card before I actually read it. I just like glanced at it, because I'm really sensing that the 10 energy is like the end of this cycle is here. It is time. This feels very much like a Saturn return. So you could be around the age of 27, or if you're later in life, that can happen again, you know, in your later 50s. It's just where you have like a maturing, a growing up, and you're like, no, there's more to life than this, and this is how I need to go about it. And you really spiritually mature, you personally develop, you emotionally develop your IQ, emotional IQ, and how you resiliently handle situations, okay? And finding new ways to handle the burdens of life, the daily burdens of life, but also heal the things from the past that you've really been walking around with all these swords, and it's getting like too much of a burden to bear. So there are signs and opportunities where you can say, okay, I do need help. Okay, I do want to be really honest with you here. Look, maybe I've been like this in the past, but what I want you to know is I'm taking my mask off now, and I'm going to be vulnerable with you, and it's going to be a little bit scary, but if you're like, I feel like this is a safe space, I feel like I can, up level, 10, 11. And this feels very synchronistic, okay? You might do this, and it does feel like you might do this when a cycle ends. Your heart got broken another time by yourself, by the actions that you caused, okay, or participated in. And that's the end of one cycle, but it's almost like now's the beginning of a new cycle. And I'm going to look for the opportunities for every chance I get to take the mask off. And it's going to be a day by day kind of process, and a moment by moment process of allowing light back in. And look at her. She's off out of the like tabernacle kind of gloomy forest, and she's got the light in her hand, and she's headed towards wisdom. Okay, with the owl in the background. It's like, I've got to get out of this tangled up forest and actually find the light. But you're carrying the light. You are the light. Definitely. Okay. Take action. 100%. Look at you. It's like, this is like Icarus, who flew too close to the sun and got burned, right? But you're a unicorn here. You're definitely a unicorn. You have such a gift. I'm picking up a lot of Sagittarius energy with this reading as well, because this is the second time I'm seeing the Archer kind of vibe, this person with the Archer of a rainbow. Okay, so true authentic expression again. So it could be to do with your sexuality as well. Just putting that one out there with the rainbow coming up here. But you're so powerful, pile number one. You're so powerful. And yes, it's disappointing that you've been living in this energy, but it's been part of your journey. And I think you can use this time and this opportunity to garner this wisdom and to take that mask off, and to take little steps. Taking action doesn't need to be like one big bold move, and it can be. You can literally go cold turkey on whatever it is that is holding you back. But I do feel like you're going to need some support in place, where abundance can keep coming through daily because of your resilience to take these steps, take these steps, take these steps. But it really feels like with this action, you'll be able to use this as like a springboard. It's like Phoenix will rise from the ashes. Okay. It will be a complete like glow up. It'll be a complete makeover of your purpose, of your mission, of the way that you actually do things. And you'll start to feel so much more fulfilled because you'll start moving in the direction of your actual dreams. I said this was going to be short and sweet. We're already up to 27 minutes. Okay. Wow. Liberation. The doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe anymore that they're you. Wow. Liberation from the doubts and the fears. And the dragonfly is highly spiritual, okay? You've like a dragonfly is alighting upon your hand, and you are having a conversation with your higher self and saying, it's time. It is 100% time. Liberation will set you free. And look at all that green growth energy. Very abundant. You have so much power here, pile number one. Liberate yourself from that which is holding you back. This blue bird is giving me tweaked vibes, okay? So don't listen to the haters. I'm feeling like social media trolls, or it could come back to that bullying kind of energy. All right, this is your overall advice, pile number one. Find in each day a chance to do something that relaxes the body, stretches the mind, and satisfies the soul. Okay, it's very much coming into that Pisces energy. You just got to self-soothe. Okay, and replace the habits. Replace the habits one by one. If I'm taking this one habit out, what healthy habit am I replacing it with? Because that's how we find balance. And sometimes we're going to be out of balance and it's going to feel really out of alignment. And look, this is going to be out of your comfort zone for sure. But you are helping to you're getting out of your own way. You're helping yourself to lead others. And I do feel like your story is going to matter. Your story is going to matter, but in the meantime, other people's stories are going to matter as well. Okay. You may have a lot of amends to make, but it starts with you first. Like it has to start with you first. And that it's not going to appear selfish to the right people. Okay. This is what I feel like I really need to say. You are not missing out on anything, pile number one, when you are grinding for self, when you are going within and getting your ish together. That's really what this is about. Stretch the mind to new places, beyond the fear, the doubt, beyond the noise of the world that you've just let accumulate. You've really got to vacuum under that rug now, okay? And satisfy the soul by becoming truly proud of the things that you are doing and truly showing everyone what you knew was possible all along. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. Good luck. Congratulations. I'm already proud of you, because if you're showing up here as the Emperor, if you've got the Wheel of Fortune on your side, even the Devil, you can become attached to so much healthier habits. There's a lot of power here for you. So I'm wishing you all the best. Take really good care of yourselves. Please let me know in the comments below how it resonated. And do subscribe, so I will see you in the next one. Bye. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the Lucid Dreams Saint Soleil tarot deck. And this is your reading all about which patterns or beliefs do you need to release right now. And so this is going to be a bit of a self-development, self-improvement kind of reading that I think can be really useful when it comes to either matters of the heart, love, relationships, family, friendships, career, money, finance, or anything else to do with life, if you really apply this, it is a little bit like triggering, I must say. Pile number 1, it was a lot. But I do have some cards already pulled for you, so let's get into it. Of course, only take what resonates. I'm coming with the best intentions here to help improve your resilience, but also your strengths. Okay, really tap into your strengths so that you can improve your life, and especially particular areas that you might be interested at the moment to improve, and you're wondering, how do I break through these things? What are the things that are really stopping me? How do I name them? How do I recognize them? All right, we've got Sagittarius, the Voyager, and Quincux, complexity. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Look, the complexity is something that like creates challenges. It's a puzzle. It's a bit of a mystery. It can be very contradictory. And yet it is contradictory because Sagittarius is here, which is very enthusiastic, happy-go-lucky, and very lucky, actually, and can talk about travel and can talk about being independent and seeking something. Whereas this is like you're seeking answers, but it's like creating more, it's creating more drama. It's creating more mystery. But at least you're curious enough. This is a sense of curiosity as well, but this is like, well, I feel it's a sense of like, here's a plane, right? And here's a spaceship. So I had every intention of heading in this direction. I was following the flight path, but somehow I've ended up in space. And I feel like, without getting too into it, without tarot confirming a few things here, I feel like you get so carried away with your ideas and your, like, how big things could be. You're trying to rely too much on luck, and you're trying to rely too much on miracles without paying attention or enough attention to the details, okay? And that, I know, it's a lot. Don't shoot the messenger. Look, I'm the same. I've done all of this kind of shadow work myself, and I'm still doing it. No one's perfect. We're all works in progress. And if you follow me enough, you will know that one of my favorite sayings is that your life is your art. So everything that has happened in the past, everything that you have created, co-created, every decision that you have made in the past, all the way to now, how you're moving through now, helps you to create what is happening in the future. And all of it is a beautiful piece of art. It's a work in progress. It's a masterpiece in progress, and it's each unique to ourselves. So it's not to like be too hard on yourself, but it's really to, okay, if this is holding me back, it's obviously weighing me down in some way. I want to move forward. And I think you do. You really want to be independent. You want to be more generous. You also want to be, I'm hearing like, be more ethical. So even, and that doesn't mean like constrained and rigid. It just means like you may be wanting to push the boundaries of your like fated life and go and live a destined life. And you have all these dreams and goals, and it's almost to the point where you're getting a little bit exhausted by it. You're taking yourself to the edge with this Voyager energy. You're taking yourself all the way to the edge. But then you're just getting lost in space because you haven't tethered yourself to, you haven't grounded yourself to a plan, a support network, or financial backing that you might need to do it. And so things kind of just fall away. It feels like in space, it's like lost in space, lost opportunities, lost friends, because nothing tied you down to it, nothing tethered you to it, nothing was organized enough, was translated enough, was adjusted. Okay, there's a sense of like you do have to be a little bit flexible sometimes, and you do have to learn a few things. It's like you're missing the lessons a little bit here, and you do have a chance to actually that's confirmation right there. You do have a chance here to transform something and find that one little puzzle piece that will make the world of difference. And when I say world, I really see you traveling. I really see you expanding to new worlds, okay? Getting out of your comfort zone and actually being able to thrive there in a new like bandwidth of comfort zone, whatever that means to you. a new job, a boundless travel ticket, a relationship that feels like one that suits you and maybe that doesn't have restraints around it, but it still, everything does have some kind of protection. It has some kind of set of unspoken rules or spoken rules or some kind of parameter that says this is how we're going to do things, and there's nothing wrong with that. If we're too loose and too free and too happy-go-lucky, we really can miss out on so much. It's almost like a stitch in time saves nine. Like if we just ground ourselves for long enough to do the thing that might be really annoying to do. Planning isn't always the best thing, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And like this, it feels like launch, like failed to launch all these ideas, all these dreams, all these travels, all of the seeking too. You might be seeking like philosophical kind of answers. You might be wanting to take these big risks, but big risks also sometimes start with a little seed that is planted in the ground that at least is going to grow in the meantime. It's like, okay, if I'm going to take a risk here, I'm going to plant a seed here as a backup plan. Let's get some tarot out here for you with this one. All right, we have the Empress. Okay, creation of life. Again, with the ideas coming through here, because she's obviously a pregnant mother, but she has the whole world in her womb. So again, with the travel too, it's trying to get things off the ground. It's trying to live a type of lifestyle, and it's trying to bring something into fruition. When you think about a child or an idea being birthed in the womb, growing in the womb, I should say, it takes 9 months before it's actually birthed, right? And so there's a sense of, if I want to do this X, Y, and Z, then over the next 9 months, what I'm actually going to do is strategize. I'm going to work hard in this way, shape, or form. I'm going to get therapy. I'm going to read all the books that I can read about, relationship styles, if it's got to do with that. Or it could be like you're actually being forced into becoming a parent for some of you as well. You want to live a beautiful life. You want to live a sensual life. You want to live a full life. And there's something very fertile about you. So you have a rich soil, okay? You are born naturally with a rich soil of ideas. You're an ideas machine. And you're very curious. You're a seeker. Like I said, there's a lot that, like, you're a sponge. But every so often a sponge needs to be rinsed out, or otherwise it's clogged up and it doesn't have that flow that it needs to bring the ideas out into the open, okay? There's a lot of abundance that I feel like you're missing out on just because of like this one puzzle piece that you have almost ignored, honestly. It's like, oh, that fell to the floor, I'm not going to bother picking it up. But like, you kind of need it. All right, you've got the Seven of Cups in reverse, okay? So this is a decision. This is actually a really good thing. When the Seven of Cups is upright, it's really talking about almost like a game of snakes and ladders. And that's what I think you've been doing, okay? You've been running up one ladder only to realize there's a snake at the top and you need to run back down, and then you got to go back here. It's like you're really wasting time. And I know that can sound like scary, especially if you're getting to the point of life where you're looking back and you're going, oh my gosh, like, what have I created? What have I got to show for my 28 years on planet Earth, or my 47 years on planet Earth? It's that kind of energy where you're like, what have I done with my time? Look, we all have those moments. I had one when I turned 30 for sure. But this is like, when it's in reverse, this is about not willing to like be distracted anymore. This is about finding clarity. It's about like letting go of the illusion that everything's just going to work out. And that's all good and well. We can manifest until the cows come home. But if you don't put the actions behind the manifestation, if you don't put the seed into the soil and you just leave it on top of the soil, it's going to burn to a crisp. You've got to like nurture it in the dark. You've got to do some of the work behind the scenes as well. So that's really good. It's at the end of illusion here. This is restorative energy that you're stepping into so that you can birth these ideas and bring them and be a role model for other people, because this mothering energy, again, it could be parental, but it could just be that you want other people to see you as like an adventurer of life, and you want to inspire people in some way, shape or form. Well, in order to do that, you have to be someone that's got some proof behind you, you know. You've also got the star here. This is fabulous, pile 2, right? You're really like, you're not like letting your daydreams just be daydreams. Of course, we can see that with this Voyager energy, okay? You're very much a daydream believer, and I'm all about that. All about that. I used to have people say to me, like, you've got to get real, Sam. You've got to come back down to earth. So I really understand this. But what they didn't know, they were just calling that out because I was quite private about the behind the scenes work that I was doing. Okay. And so this is really driving you. Do not lose hope. You do not want to lose the hope and the spark and the belief and the dreams that you have. But it also feels extremely healing that you will be able to clarify your purpose. Right now, you're able to clarify your purpose. You're taking notes, okay? You might even come to this reading. In fact, if you haven't done this, pause it and go and get some paper and pens, or, you know, make notes on your phone if you're watching this on the PC or TV. It's like, take notes. Start taking notes of where your puzzle pieces are missing. Okay. I always like to say, when we're talking business too, but I apply it to life in general. If here is is where I want to go, if here is where I know I've made it, okay? How do you know you've made it? Oh, when I feel this point, when I've reached this point, when I've achieved X, Y, Z. Okay, well, what steps you need to take to get there? Reverse engineer the process. And if you're starting from here, okay, well, I'll take that step first, then that step. And if this happens, then I'll go in that direction. It's like you make a little mind map for yourself, like a little maze, you know? The thing, this really resonates for me, so sorry to keep bringing my own personal situation in it, but it's an easier way for me to explain it, is I used to love those Goosebumps books, and the books where you could choose your own adventure and you could choose the way things finish. Okay, so this is really what I'm getting from you. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to read all the options and then I'm going to choose the best one. Did you ever do that? But I still do that with my life. I'm like, okay, if I want to choose my own adventure, if I want to end up there, what do I need to do? But also I make little mind maps. I'm very much a pencil and paper type of person, and I'm an artist, but I'm also like, that's how things make logical sense to me, is a visual seer, you know, and that's why I do this work now, is because the visions that I get, and I just saw 1313 as I said that, so that might be really inspirational to you. And I also just heard Taylor Swift. So look, she's a Sagittarius, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, there's this sense of you really you're maintaining this energy of being a believer. And it's actually going to be very, very healing for you to own that, but to also put the grit behind, you know, the daydream, to actually put the grind behind it. You're really looking at your North Star, okay? You're really looking at your North Star. You're really looking for, maybe you need your own inspiration before you become the inspiration for others. And so it's like, I was just throwing this is what it feels like that you've done. I was just throwing all the ideas out and seeing what stuck. Okay, well, it's not actually leading you to where you want to go, and it's sometimes actually causing more stress and too many loose ends to where you feel energetically drained. Let's move on to the King of Wands, a natural born leader, a visionary, someone who's highly passionate but also highly organized to get things done. This is big picture thinking. This is really, really good. You have all the ingredients for someone who can change the world, honestly. And can create a whole new world. Whichever one speaks most to you. It's like, I can change the world by changing myself, then how my family interacts, then I can change my community, then I can change my planet, and then I can really change the vibration of what I attract into my life. There's that kind of vibe to this. Very, very powerful, very passionate, very ideas person. But also with a sense of daring. You're not losing that. You're just transforming it in a way that perhaps you never were taught, or perhaps you hated school, and perhaps you just, you know how like it's that kind of thing where you go to a new job and someone's like, oh, you just do this and this and this. And you're like, well, I need to be shown like 7 times. I'm not kidding with this. I'm not kidding. People, and I've done a training and assessing course, and I've trained a lot of employees before, and I've trained a lot of different team members for different things. I get it. Like, people have different learning styles, and I feel like you potentially have not had someone mentor you properly to say, this is how things are going to go. And look, don't be hard done by thinking that, because not a lot of us have that opportunity, especially if we, never had parents that could afford mentors or trainers or anything like that, coaches, that kind of thing. It's like, you're going to have to go out and seek these for yourself. Can you get on Google and see someone who has lived out a life that you've created, right? For those Aussies that know who Jessica Watson is, or anyone who knows who Jessica Watson is, it's like, this young girl achieved such an incredible feat, I should say, such an incredible feat. There was so much planning behind the scenes. That's how a young girl was able to sail around the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like she survived so much because of the intricate planning that went into this. You are learning, really learning. You are applying yourself to learning. You're finding role models. You're reading the books. You're listening to the podcast. You're asking the hard questions from the people who have been where you want to go. And that's how you're able to stand on the shoulders of giants and make something incredible happen here for your life. You could want to create a travel company. I don't know, there's a lot to do with travel here. There's a lot to do with taking control. There's very entrepreneurial energy as well, okay? I got an itchy nose, so your spirit guides are here really kind of rooting for you with this. We've got the 10 of Wands in reverse, okay? There's a need to learn when too much is too much on your own shoulders, and there's a need to learn when it's okay to say, okay, I need you to go and get X, Y, and Z puzzle piece, and I need you to go and collect this information, and I need you to go. You're using those resources, and again, it's the standing on the shoulders of giants, so that you can let some of the burdens go and actually finish some projects, see things through, and actually, first of all, find out the true purpose and the true passions that are really calling you, and maybe just stick to 1 and 2 things. It's like slowing down to speed up. It's getting to the heart of a matter and getting rid of all the fluff. Okay, these might all be great ideas that you've had, but these 1 and 2 things, these are the things that are going to make the most difference if I apply myself to them, okay? You do not want the burdens anymore, and you're really in a position of being open to this kind of information. So congratulations, you're lightening the load. You're setting yourself free. And it's giving yourself a break, really. Mentally giving yourself a break, because I feel like you've really been up in your head about this, okay? You've been missing the mark, and you're like, wow, why? If I try again, I'm just going to start again. But you're not taking the minute to actually, when you ask how and why, to actually write that down and investigate it, okay? And to learn from it, and to learn a better process, okay? You might have even spent a bit of money, but definitely exerted a lot of energy to try and execute a couple of ideas here. 9 of Pentacles, you've got abundance, luxury. This is like self-sufficiency, so independent, and this could stop you, okay? If you're highly stubborn and highly independent, it might be hard for you to say, right, I'm going to give up. That's confirmation of that as well, okay? I understand. If you want it done properly, you've got to do it yourself, like that kind of feeling to it. But actually, and it's interesting because a lot of people refer to their business, and I'm just picking up on the entrepreneurial energy here, they refer to their small business or their company or whatever that they've started, their big company, as their baby. And it's hard for them to let go of the reins. It's hard for them to delegate and ask people to help, to hire peer and above. And what I mean by that is hire people that can do the things that you can't, that are better, so that you can do the things that you're really good at. And I think that there's a sense of stubbornness that comes through. But if you start asking for the help that you need, what you're going to realize is there's treasure in a community as well. You can be independent and still put your name on the door, kind of thing. And there's a sense of a sense of pride and a sense of luxury in doing so. But you're starting to realize that for you to have the success and the rewards and the leisure, okay, there's a sense of like bringing things into balance. If you're always on the go and you're always trying to make things happen, when do you ever relax? You know, when do you ever take stock? This is a stock take for you, okay? So that you can make more of an assertive move towards your achievements, towards your goals, okay? These are some art cards that I've never actually used in a public reading before. Sorry, I do apologize if I'm saying the names wrong. We've got Orlan. Okay. Don't fear pain. Art is an aesthetic. And this person looks like they're getting some kind of like facial surgery here. Okay. And you can see the nips and tucks in the eyes in the background. Okay. Art is pain. There is a sense of like your life is your art, like I was talking about. But you've got to do the things. You got to do the things. You still got to pay your taxes. You know, that's not going to happen by itself. Art is an aesthetic, not an aesthetic, I should say. Art is an anesthetic, okay? So if you want the good times, you've also got to put in the money, the time, the sweat, the tears. And again, if you're trying to be an overnight success, no one is an overnight success. There's literally always some kind of journey to get there, okay? Do you like who you see in your petri dish, okay? And when they're talking about a petri dish, it's like a science project where you mix this microbiome with that organism, and then it creates, you know, something else. And it starts exponentially double. It starts like becoming more than, I can't think of the word right now. My scientist teacher friends will correct me. But it starts becoming more than itself. And this is where growth happens. This is where you've got to let biology take its course. I feel like you've been trying to skip corners and just you know, take you're trying to get to business class before you ever have ridden in like cattle class. So you've got to really address some issues within self when it's talking about, do you like what you see in your own petri dish? It's like, what are the parts that make up you? What is your biology made of? Your biology is appearing here, pile 2, to be made up of someone extremely powerful. Because if you can co-create with the universe, oh my goodness, what you can create is cures, okay? It's like an antidote to life, like an anesthetic to life, okay? It's going to numb the pain, but you're trying to numb the pain in ways that are too frivolous, okay? They're not actually seeing things through. Again, with the groundedness, okay? Bringing something back to, well, why am I wired this way? Why do I think this way? Why do I act this way? And how can I improve that? How can I rearrange my cells in a way? And it's just rewiring your brain to develop some new habits that are, it's going to make you tougher. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make, this organization is going to actually make you more able to handle when things change, especially like changed flights and things like that. This is going to give you a real sense of emotional resilience to handle life's situations that any kind of entrepreneur needs, any kind of visionary needs, okay? Especially if you're a leader, you're going to be dealing with different personalities. You're going to deal with Mother Nature's, you know, wrath. Sometimes things happen. That's life. But if you're knowing self and you know, maybe you want to find out your human design, and that might actually help you to understand how you need to best organize yourself, okay? And if you are someone who resonates, and I'm just picking up on this, I'm not trying to call anyone out, has ADHD or something like that, where you just find it really hard to concentrate and no one's ever really given you the time and effort you needed to properly learn how to learn, even like, how do you know what you don't know if you don't know? Then you may want to seek out some, like I said, some people who are going to help you, okay? Some support people, some delegation people, who can be the ones to See how it's like the doctor here, the surgeon here is working on the patient? I think you're the patient, you know? It's like, well, what do I need to put in my ears? Who do I need to put in my ears? What people do I need to surround myself with so that I can like reoperate on myself to work with the strengths that I have. I'm not saying let's fix your ADHD. It's work with the strengths of that for you. And there's so many examples of people who are incredible visionaries, leaders, and who have some kind of, you know, what would be considered a flaw or what would be considered a learning disability or, you know, whatever they are labeling it as these days. But it's very normal. It's just people have different learning styles. And, you know, being someone who always learnt visually, you know, for me, math was like another language, and it still is. But I apply myself now, and I have tools in my toolkit to make it really easy for me to get things done when it comes to metrics, because now I understand. Once I see the like big picture, I understand that when I understand my metrics, then I can make better decisions. Then I can make better moves, okay? And then I know where my like boundaries are for now and how to push them forward, because what gets measured can get managed. Do you like what you see in your petri dish and become your paradigm? Okay, so really step into the thing that's confusing you and explore ways for you to transform it and to re-educate yourself and to okay, well, what's the solution? Is the solution getting someone to help me? Is the solution you know, letting go of the reins and testing the waters, you know, seeing how it goes when I allow other people in? Is it to actually heal some things within me and realize the reasons why I want to keep everything so independent? And maybe realizing that by putting borders around something doesn't mean that I'm, you know, not free and not, you know, this happy-go-lucky person. It's not going to make you a different personality. It's just going to enhance what's already there for you. What is his name? How do I say this? I've seen one of his works and it was just incredible. Aiwawi. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, when authority says to be quiet, get a loudspeaker. Okay, yeah, that's really interesting. Pile 1 got that as well. It's this rebellion against authority. It's this rebellion against what I call like the fated life. You actually want to follow that North Star and live your destined life and live out your dreams. This is the hope, okay? You're a hope dealer for other people. And you're like the encourager of other people for sure. Always like pushing people to their edge is what I feel as well. But you're needing to kind of put a loudspeaker to the things that people are telling you to be quiet about. So if you're saying, well, I would like to learn about this, and people are like, oh, no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about how we get there. We just get there. I call BS on that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get to kind of call things out that maybe you hadn't realized you have the potential to be able to do, and make things less taboo, even from a root core, like from ground roots. You're trying to live out all these things, but if you can start here, you'll actually realize there's so much more potential for you to challenge the status quo here, which is really cool. The world needs people like you. Art must fight for freedom or the whole world is a prison. Exactly what we were just talking about. Some things are whole only when they shatter, okay? That's that puzzle piece. Okay, if we shatter the glass, if we shatter the puzzle, then how do we reverse engineer? How do we bring it all back together, okay? These cards are Heal Yourself reading cards, and I love them. We have number 17 and Beauty, okay? This is coming back to that Sagittarius Voyager energy of being a little bit self-righteous. You know, I'm so stubborn. I'm so right all the time that I can't possibly listen to authority, can't possibly listen to someone else's opinion, because I have to do it my way. Because if I don't, like, it's not going to be right. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be authentic. It's really understanding that you can still, there's beauty within the pause, there's beauty within the lessons, there's beauty within being vulnerable enough to say that I might need help, that I might need to change this situation. And again, it's coming back to that, like, If you hear that, it's just me rubbing against the desk. It's coming back to that aesthetic, okay? This facial, this makeover, and yeah, ding, 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 okay? This makeover that this person is kind of getting. It's like you're going to give your whole life a makeover here, but very much you could be looking at wanting to give your body a makeover. And instead of having like one professional that you trust and you've vetted to guide you in the process of, you know, color analysis and maybe face analysis if you're going that far, it feels like the whole world is your oyster when it comes to how beautiful you can make yourself, your home, your world, your environment, your friendships, your relationships. But you're coming up against all these snakes because you haven't like centered your personification of what beauty is to you. And so you may be like in your pursuit of wanting to do things your way, you might be like inadvertently picking up other people's ideas of who you are and what beauty means and what freedom means. So that's really interesting. Again with the travel, again with like the wanting to be flamboyant or different or radical or rebellious. But it's ending you up in some strife, okay? You're like a snake right now that needs to shed its skin, and it's like you've got to tackle that thing that become your paradigm, become the snake, become what it is that is trying to hold you back, and look at it through those eyes, and then you'll learn, okay, this is how I play the game now, okay? Sadness. Oof. Is there some kind of healing that needs to take place? What are you always running from here? Why it does feel like there's a sense of like you're seeking the freedom that potentially someone else in your life could never have. That's going to be for some of you, okay? It's like I need, in order for that person's, passing to not be in vain, I've had to go and live like this, as loud and vibrant as possible. But it's a bit of a scattered mess. And it is making you sad that perhaps it's taking time and effort and you know, a lot of false starts, I feel as well. Not getting that plane off the ground, not getting that rocket off the launching pad. There's a sense of sadness about not being able to fulfill your prophecy or not being able to fulfill that person's desire or their wish, you know. But it could be very much like a sense of your own past self and a sadness that feels inherited almost. That's really interesting. And there's a need to express yourself in all the ways you want to express yourself, if only you just pause and take that time to plan ahead. All right, ask your angels. Yes, this is really asking for that support. And then we literally have helpful people. Not the right time, okay? It's not the right time to rush into the next thing just yet. Look, how synchronistic could these cards be? It's not the right time to rush into something yet. If we're going to have something so transformative as a huge makeover of your life, then it does need to be incubated for a period. It does need to be launched at a certain time. If you're trying to launch your rocket ship in the middle of a storm, like, what are your chances of survival? Do you know what I mean? What are your chances of this executing successfully? So really pause. This is giving me hangman energy in terms of you need to get a new perspective on this situation. And that's what that quincux is all about. Get a new perspective. And when you do, you'll know that breakthrough will happen. That clarity will happen. You'll see the pieces. It's almost like A Beautiful Mind, you know, the movie. And it's like all the pieces start to appear on the mirror or the window as he starts writing everything. It's like it all appears and it all suddenly makes sense. Something so complex actually starts to make sense when you pause, you start writing things down, you start researching why things are the way they are, or why you are the way you are, okay? Ask your angels. There's a sense of like you need to move through a portal. It feels like you are like coming to the end of a 9-month or 9-year or, you know, at the end of a cycle where you're now being called to like step through into your most divine self. And with this divine self, you understand self, and then you'll be able to understand the next steps that you need to take. With helpful people, look at this crowd, okay? This is like, look, I don't know too much about it, but I was raised Catholic even though I'm not. It's like, Jesus didn't create what he created without his disciples. His messages weren't told throughout the realms without his disciples, you know, without the people that supported him, without the people that even tried to ruin him, you know. But there's a sense of like, when you find the right tribe, and your vibe does attract your tribe. I know it's so cliche and it's overused, but you have to like really, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? What does that look like to me? When you find these right people, here's the trumpets, right? Here's you being able to make an impact, make your noise, blow that loudspeaker in the face of authority, because now you have backing and proof and support and believers. It's not just you on this mission. It's all of you. And I feel like when I say all of you, it really does mean your whole. You've got to bring your whole soul to this and really understand yourself in this process. Okay. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Trust. Trust that this is, it feels like this has been gifted to you. And it's like, oh, I just got chills in my hand. Oh, what does it mean when there's chills in your left hand? What does that mean? Is it travel? Or is that your foot? But with like this butterfly alighting upon you, it's like if you just pause long enough, the inspiration comes and sits quietly upon you. There's some kind of quote about that for sure. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you to know exactly how to handle them. Okay, you're asking for support, but I also think you're having a metamorphosis. You're really expanding, you're really growing, you're really learning about self so that you can learn about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing that you're so hungry for. Trust that you're protected in this situation as well. Trust that you will be able to remain this big believer in dreams and goals, but you also will be someone who will make them happen. Okay, here's your final advice, pile 2. Make a commitment to let go of the excuses and ignore the distractions that hold you back or lead you down a path that doesn't serve you. Exactly. Okay. Too many distractions are making you confused. You're able to let those go, ignore those distractions for a while, and focus on one or two clear paths forward. Focus on that North Star, what really matters to you. Where are you going and how are you going to get there? Okay. I love this for you, pile 2. This is really inspiring stuff. I hope this has been useful for you. Please let me know in the comments below what resonated, and take really good care of yourselves. It's an exciting time. From here, anything is possible. And thank you so much for subscribing, of course, so that I can see you in the next one. I'll see you then. Bye. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce, and this is your reading all about which patterns or beliefs do you need to release right now. Of course, please only take what resonates. Don't let anything take from you. It is a bit of a deep dive into personal development, and I do hope it's going to be super useful for you. I've already got some cards pulled here, so let's get into it. We've got Trine and Flow and Capricorn and the Boss. Okay. This, without getting tarot on this, I'm going to make an assumption here that you possibly are so hung up on work and seeing things done and doing things by the book that you are forgetting how to enrich life with going with the flow and to seize opportunities. But it's almost like you don't see them because you're so narrow-minded about something. And I'm not trying to call anyone out here. This is, hopefully you're open to this lesson, okay? This feels very serious, you know? It's like you're all work and no play. And so you've got this imbalance kind of going on here where you want to be down to earth, but you're not even settled. Your feet aren't even touching the ground, you know? And Capricorn is like the boss, the earth sign. And it's the mountain goat who will see their way to the top of the mountain no matter what. But it's like your feet are hovering off the ground because you think this is the way to get grounded. You think that material wealth building, for example, or grinding is the way. But if you don't take your shoes off and put your feet in the sand and the grass and the dirt, if you don't dive under a wave every now and then, if you don't relax every now and again, something's going to snap, like something's going to give, has to give. And it feels like one of your structures or one of your routines and one of your strict ways is going to just hit an obstacle that is going to be like the straw that broke the camel's back. And there's something that might it might really disrupt your routine and kind of give you a bit of a tower moment. I see things like crumbling down around you, okay? You've got this awesome sense of endurance here. Don't get me wrong, pile 3, this awesome sense of endurance, but you've got to learn to enjoy the fruits of what you are trying to achieve here. You know, celebrate the little wins. It doesn't have to be a massive celebration, but if you acknowledge it, and it's like self-berating kind of energy as well. If you acknowledge these little wins, it gives you the boost that you need to keep going without feeling like you're a robot or a machine or that nobody loves me. You know, you could really like turn this onto other people too and play the victim and be like, I'm always the one working. And it could give you a sense of aggression or pent-up rage, or you're just simmering. You know, you're the kind of person that has an absolute poker face, but underneath you're like simmering and actually ready to pop and rage. Yeah, very interesting energy here. You've got the potential to be like you've got the potential to be a badass, like a boss that is a badass in the best possible way. Like you're someone who, you know, because a good boss, when you think about a good boss, and I don't mean to say that all of you are bosses, but it's the energy that I'm embodying here, or I'm seeing you embody here. It's like when you think about the best kind of bosses, they're the ones that roll up their sleeves and say, let's go, let's get this done. And at the end of the day, they say, you know, at 5 minutes to 5, all right, tools down, you know, let's talk about how we went today, how'd it go, like high five, well done, that was awesome. Right, what we're going to do tomorrow is this, and this, and it's going to be so good. Now, what I want you to do tonight is not think about this at all. Go home, chill out. Like this is a tomorrow problem, you know, but instead it feels like you're the one who's like stressing at night. You're seeing like burning the midnight oil. Like you're really like taking it to the nth degree, and it doesn't really have to be that way. I can relate, and I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I thought that school was like my whole existence, like getting good grades and being like numero uno and doing so well and being the best at everything was so highly important. I thought my worth was really like valued that way. And so I really burnt myself out at an early age because I would do homework, you know, and I was even in grade 6, like just unnecessary amounts of effort into everything that I did. And I would see people who were doing way less get way more rewards and be way happier and achieving different things. And here I was, so consumed by every minute detail, it was unrealistic of me to think that that was going to completely change my life and rule my life. It was ruling my life for sure, but in a negative way. And it truly impacted me to the point where I did not want anything to do with school by the time I hit the most important years, like grade 12 and graduating. I was like, yeah, whatever. And, you know, it had like it didn't have an adverse effect to the point where I failed anything, but I could have done so much better if I had have like paced myself. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting here. And it's really something that you can start to enjoy, especially if you're feeling very, it's like Groundhog Day. If you're feeling very miserable in your job, if you're feeling like your passion has suddenly turned into this grudge, it's because you've become quite rigid, or you've allowed someone else to put you in a position where you're following rules to a T, and possibly it is a boss that's like weighing heavy on you, and you're just like, I want to be in flow. And the way that I could be in flow is for some of you, get out of that situation, get out of that job and go and do it better yourself, because you would be able to do it with a bit more lifestyle. Before I get too carried away, let's get some tarot out here for you. 5 of Swords. It's like, this is a bit of a mental anguish. There's a lot going on in your head. Like you never stop. And like I said, a lot of you could have a really, like a really good poker face, so no one would know the upheaval that's going on in your mind. There's also a sense that this could be, you know, something that you have to walk away from. And we are talking about things you need to release, like patterns and beliefs that you need to release. It's like, are you walking away because you're completely defeated? What if you could see something through to completion because you actually had the energy the whole way along. You had the reserves because you were tending to your needs as well. Okay, there's a sense of great imbalance here. It's causing a lot of upheaval in your life. Could be having a knock-on effect to your love life, your family, that kind of thing. Take it how it resonates. Okay, we've got the Three of Swords. Yeah, there's a sense of loss and there's a sense of loss, like heartbreak. This is like you're breaking your own back, I feel. You're breaking your own back. But also you're really denying yourself the joy of life, the joy de vivre. Like, where's the juiciness of life? You feel it's. I feel like you're saying to yourself, like, I'm aging so fast. I feel so old because you're not enjoying. You're not sparked up. It's like you're an energized battery, but then you're not a rechargeable battery. And you need to change that. I also can see it's just gotten stormy outside, and I can just see all these sparrows like absolutely going nuts outside like this, just out of the corner of my eye. And so it looks fun, but very chaotic. And I think that you're trying to avoid any kind of chaos, but it's actually causing you a great deal of sorrow to be missing out on things as well. Like, you're missing out, you've got FOMO, your fear of missing out on things, but also you may be missing out on some really important life stuff, and that's leaving you really empty inside. Knight of Pentacles, a really stubborn sense of independence here. Look, you're prosperous, there's no doubt about it. And you have the potential to be more prosperous and feel more alive and enlivened by your successes if you give yourself permission to enjoy them. Okay, this is really you're in a comfort zone here, and I know that's like an oxymoron in a way, but you're in a comfort zone by doing this and behaving in this way because you don't know, you've forgotten how to have fun. The Ace of Pentacles is really talking about the chance of a new beginning, okay? This is a chance to do things differently. And again, it could be a new job. It could be the potential for you to take this, like, shitty situation and actually go and make your own business here, or make a complete change of career altogether, okay? If this isn't satisfying you anymore and you want to use your work ethic towards something else, you've got the competency to do this, you're prepared to do this, you've got some majesty about you to do this, you know, because the mountain goat does eventually get to the top of the hill, and what's at the top of the hill is the great view. Okay, so I think that you may have been like privy to seeing things from a new perspective. Maybe you have started to enjoy quite a rich life, but you're like, it's lonely at the top. And I really want to enjoy some of this stuff in life, and instead of just focusing on conflict constantly and the phone's constantly ringing and I'm always like micromanaging and problem solving for other people. I want to enjoy something new and a freshness, and a youthfulness again is coming through. We've got the Hierophant. Yeah, you're willing to even learn some new things here. And I think that's why you're here. So I do hope that you're like taking notes about this kind of situation, and not just what I say, but things that pop up for you as I say them. It might trigger like a sign or synchronicity or a thought process that you jot down, and actually you look back at this later on and you're like, oh, wow, I actually can learn something new. Instead of being so rigid, you've got this wisdom, you've got this endurance now. And that's what's going to help you to like break down any barriers that you may have allowed or put around yourself. There also is a sense that this, like, you do really love structure, and you do really love tradition and ceremony and ritual, but you can bring happy things into your ceremony and ritual of your everyday as well. This is a need for you to romanticize your life, okay, and make a commitment to self, and not just being a vessel for someone else's fat back pocket. Okay, there's more to life than work. It feels like you've got a opportunity here to make work for you, make your money work for you, rather than you grinding your nose to the stone every single day and not having a life. You know when people say I work to live, and they save their money and then they go and travel, or then they go and create something awesome, or then they go and spoil their family and friends or whatever, really give back to themselves and enjoy life. And you're like, God damn, good on you. Like, you're doing amazing. You know, it's so good. You're really the other way around, where it's like, I live to work, you know, but you don't enjoy it. I get a sense that you're really not enjoying that. You want the structure. You want to teach other people how to avoid this situation potentially as well. And you might get the opportunity to do that, but it's a higher learning, and it's a commitment to a higher version of yourself as well. This isn't like you turning into someone who becomes like a couch potato. It doesn't feel like that's your energy at all. And by you letting enjoy, it doesn't mean that you're going to become weak, or you're going to become soft, or you're going to become lazy. And so it's calling for having some knowledge and possibly like researching some inspiration of the people who get to enjoy their life, and no one calls them weak, and they don't call themselves weak, and they don't call themselves lazy, and they don't berate themselves. They actually enjoy their life thoroughly, and people respect them more because they can relate to someone who actually has a bit of a life. You know, you're going to have more friends, you're going to have more family, you're going to not feel so freaking lonely all the time. And I feel like you're going to heal yourself in the ability to go with that flow energy, tapped into your emotions again, instead of just work to the point where you're avoiding your emotions. Okay, interesting. It's a gift here. This is a gift. This whole situation, this opportunity for you to flourish, is a gift. It's going to harmonize your whole life. It's going to, and I feel as I say that you'll be singing a new song. 3 of Cups. Yeah, look, you've got a lot to celebrate. And I did talk about friendship. This is like, go out, have a bit of fun, celebrate that one thing. See what happens when someone says, let's go and have Friday drinks. This time you're saying yes. Like, okay, I'm going to come. I'm going to see what happens. It doesn't mean that you like get completely, you know, trolleyed and stay out all night and, you know, make a big sloppy mess of yourself. You don't have to do that. But you are allowed to accept the compliments and the praise, and to self-praise at some point. Stop thinking that there's like an expectation on you to have a sense of imposter syndrome. Like, you're allowed to be proud. You're allowed to know that you're good and worthy, and accept all the goodness that is coming in for you. Okay? Joy, friendship, family. Enjoy all those good things. These 2 cards are art cards that I haven't actually used in a recorded reading before. So if I say their names wrong, I do apologize. We've got Sophie Calais, or Cal. Put on a good show for the surveillance cameras. Oh, yeah, look, this is like someone who's grown up thinking that they're under surveillance all the time. And so there's just this perfectionist kind of attitude here. I'm also picking up high Virgo vibes with that as well. Distance makes the heartbreak stronger. Okay, distance makes the heartbreak stronger. Now look at where she's laying in bed. She's completely tuned out the noise around her. It doesn't matter if it's a daytime nap or anything. She's got her eye mask on. She's cozy, she's comfy, and she's doing what is best for her. Okay, distance makes the heartbreak stronger. Distance yourself a little bit. You need to take a freaking vacation here, pile number 3. Invade neighboring states of privacy. Okay, invade neighboring states of privacy. Look, you're allowed to ask for help and ask how other people have done things as well. Asking questions doesn't make you weak either. That's what I'm picking up with that energy. And also, like, allowing other people into your space. You're very, very hard on yourself. Okay, Eve's Klein. Learn everything from nothing. Legit. Learn everything from nothing. That is what happens when you dive under a wave and you know nothing about the underwater world, right? I mean, you might be a maritime scientist or something, but like literally Eve's Klein blue, right? And it's deep emotions here. It's discovery of the unknown and being cool with what is unknown. But this blue is also very royal, isn't it? It's very luxurious. There's a luxury that you are able to enjoy, and that all of this rigidity is holding you back from enjoying. Include yourself in your list of materials. Exactly. Your work ethic, that's you're irreplaceable to some people, and they're holding you hostage for that. And you've got to realize that you're irreplaceable to yourself. This is your one shot at life, and your one shot at enjoying life as well. So don't let someone tell you that you're not like able to leave. You're not able to move forward. You must stay in this position, in this role, in this relationship, in this whatever it is, and you must have this, like, I'm getting like a real headache. Like, you must stay in this flight mode. Like, you're constantly on edge. Your adrenals must be extremely drained. But you've got to include yourself in a list of materials here, which is like, my labor is worth something. My years of experience and knowledge, it's worth something. It's worth so much. And if we're talking about a relationship, okay, this is really saying, like, I didn't just get here to this position and become what I am without years and years of experience and practice and like study and skill. Like, you've honed your skills here, and someone may be taking great advantage of you in a relationship, not just at work, okay? And you've got to also include yourself in a list of materials that need servicing, okay? So if you're repairing the server, and you're rewiring things, and you're dusting out the the back of the computers, what are you doing to look after self? How are you filling your cup back up? How are you recharging that battery, like I said? Enroll in a judo class. Look, you've got to become a little bit more assertive about what's important for you here. And look, he looks like he's taking a big leap of faith here. So it's like full energy. I'm jumping off the cliff and I'm making this decision, and yeah, it's outside of what everyone knows as my bandwidth, but you know what? Like, get used to it. And it's that kind of badass energy that's coming through too. So I love that for you. These two cards are Heal Yourself cards, very potent cards. Wow, we've got love here. Wow. Is someone your kryptonite? And you've got someone, or someone is treating you like kryptonite. And I'm drawn to like the little voodoo doll down here. Where is it? Down here. And the spilled glass. It's like this person's got a spell on you, and oof, now you're mine. No. Like, you are your own person. You are sovereign to yourself. This person may have like seen that you're a person of authority. Take it how it resonates, whichever person you resonate as. But someone's a slave to someone, and someone is like enshrined to someone. Someone is feels very responsible for the other party here when it comes to love. But it also does talk about self-love as well. This also gives me very much family like traditions. I must do this because my family, my father and my father and my father's father did that. It's that kind of like, sometimes love can be suffocating in that sense with its demands and its expectations. Courage. Wow, this is the courage to like walk away from something for sure. This is the courage to shed light on the things that aren't working. And it doesn't mean that you have to walk away from a love relationship or a work relationship completely. It just means that you need to walk away from that particular way of doing things. And if you're going out seeking some new strength, okay, because of this courage energy, my nose is getting itchy, so your spirit guides are definitely here with you and agreeing with me on this. That look, you're going to upset people because you're going to force them to take care of themselves and to level themselves up and to, take responsibility for their own actions, where you've been overgiving, overdoing it, and completely draining yourself. It's I feel like you're even denying yourself a lot of love here and denying yourself a lot of healing. You might even be putting those pins in this little voodoo doll into yourself, because you're denying yourself having the feelings, where this person's looking at you and wishing that you would pay them any kind of attention, but you're so consumed by all the things you're using to distract you, okay? But again, with this kind of image, I do feel like there's some kind of quest that you are going on. And you're going to have some, when people start to change, there's often some pushback because you disrupt how other people have a hold on you, okay? And they want to keep you small, and they want to keep you safe, okay? And they want to keep you to themselves. That's my hand. And they are fearing that if you level up and change and if you become happy, oh my gosh, well then I have to face my shadows, and I have to look at the way that I've been unhealthily attached to you. Okay, the Capricorn in the tarot is the devil, and it's an unhealthy attachment to something, and I think someone has an unhealthy attachment over you and you're trying to break free from that situation. And to do that, you have to untie these chains, and it's going to be painful. Like I can't sugarcoat it. It's going to be painful in some way, shape, or form. But there's so much flow. There's so much abundance. There's so much that can aid this process and enrich your life. And there is a very much a sense of balance. And I feel like 3 different things with this triangle here. You know, you're getting sucked into the Bermuda Triangle. That's what I just heard. But you've got to, there's something that's going to be really easing this. It's not going to be as hard as you think. It's going to be hard, but it's not going to be as hard as you think. You've been denying yourself the opportunity to do this because you think it's going to upset so many other people. But what about you? What about you, pile 3? Like, this is really saying, like, what about me? If you know that song. It isn't fair. I've had enough. Okay, I won't sing. Goodness me. There's a progression too. From the love card, 28, there's something else missing, and then there's courage. So what is missing here? Oh, no. You've got to learn to say no to people. You've got to say, I'm unavailable right now. You've got to not answer the phone at 4 a.m. Do not send an email at 4 a.m. because then people will believe that they can catch you at any time of day or night. You're completely available to anyone at any time. And how would you like it, sir? 2 silver spoons and a silver tray. Like you're pretending to be a butler and waiting on other people in your life, and you're missing out on life in the process. When you say no, you have time to meet with your higher self and meet with your spirit guides and get divine guidance on where to go next. And where to go next is going to be beautiful, I feel. Oh my goodness. Say no to the small things, or say no to the things that are actually of no importance to you and no benefit to you, so that you can say yes to the better things. Wow. Say a better no so you can say a better yes. What is really important to you here, pile number 3? Wow, that's what's missing in between love and courage, is the decisiveness and the ability to understand, and the wisdom to understand, and the courage to believe that you have absolute authority to say yes and no over what goes on in your life, okay? Delusion. Oh, you poor darling. You poor darling. Honestly, I feel you. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. Intention without surrender. Yeah, look, you can have every intention to change your situation, but until you start saying the no's and the yeses that you need to say in order to make way for change and growth and more abundance and more happiness and friendship and family and love to come into your life, then you're going to get stuck in this maze. You know, you're going to go walk down a garden path where there's no surrender. It's okay to say it, but you've got to start doing it too. You've got to really put that, and also have a belief that things are going to work out in your favor. Like the universe, with this like full leap that this Yves Klein is taking here, it's really like the universe is saying, go first, pile 3, and I will catch you. Don't delude yourself into thinking that other people are more important, more worthy, and that you are a doormat. Do not delude yourself into thinking that you cannot have all the abundance and all the joy. This really is like a mandala of all your dreams, you know? It's like if I could weave all my dreams into an artwork, into a sand art or something like that, it's like this is a really powerful manifestation process for you. And it's a very balancing process of understanding you inside deeply, understanding where emotions need to come to the head to be healed, and understanding very much where your boundaries lie, or your newfound boundaries lie, for what you will no longer accept, so that you can start accepting more in life. This is your final advice card. You owe it to yourself. Wow. You owe it to yourself to be honest, to live by your values and stand by your word, to do only those things that affirm your integrity and enhance your self-respect. You are no longer going to be living according to someone else's rules. And that's where your patterns and beliefs are breaking down, because they've been instilled in you. But you were not born with them. You were born free. You were born adventurous. You were born with free thought. And you were born worthy. Understand that your self-respect is huge, of huge importance right now. Claim it again, make it known. And just shake that ish up, shake it up. Because by being this doormat for people, by being so available for people, and working yourself to the bone, you aren't just deluding yourself, you're deluding those around you. And sometimes when we are there 24/7, being of service to others, we enable their behavior, okay? And we are then robbing them of their own growth. Truly, we are robbing them of their own growth. And so it's in their best interests for you to put your best interests first here. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it resonates in some way, shape, or form. Please let me know in the comments below how it does. I'm wishing you all the luck in the world here. You are very powerful, Pile 3, and you've got some real joy coming into your life if you will allow it. This is your time. Allow it. Bring it in. Surrender to joy. Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for the energy exchange, the likes, the shares, the comments, and please do subscribe so I can see you in the next one. Bye.